Yeah, friends, it was a double knockout and the regime didn't even have time to catch its breath. In less than 24 hours, Lula's government suffered two defeats that shift the balance of power in Brazil. While Alvorada was still trying to understand the historic rejection of Besias, Congress delivered the coup de grace. Lula's veto on the sentencing rules was crushed. In practice, the firewall that the PT built to maintain the punishments for January 8th began to crumble. There were 318 votes in the House and 49 in the Senate. The government was abandoned even by those who used to sit at the table with it. And the result is the end of a nightmare for thousands of families. We're talking about citizens who will now have the right to go home, work, and resume their lives under an open prison regime. But make no mistake, this was not just a parliamentary act of charity. There's a detail that the mainstream media is hiding. This move was a strategic retreat. The system realized that things had been pushed too far and that international pressure is suffocating Brasilia. Davi Alcolumbre, for example, the man of the week, did what seemed impossible. He isolated the PT and delivered a victory that the right had been waiting for months. Not because he's a nice guy, but because he's trying to survive what's coming. The official narrative tried to say that the bill would benefit drug dealers, but the last-minute maneuver cleaned up the text, and it left the government with no excuses. What was left was the image of an isolated president watching the dismantling of his persecution agenda. Complete victory will only come with the total annulment of these cases, but what we saw this week was the starting point of the end of an era of abuses. Power is changing hands in Brasilia. Those who thought they had eternal control over these people's fate have just seen that Lula's power is evaporating. The board is being redrawn, drawn right before our eyes, and the system is now scrambling to try to save its own skin. And in the end, my friends, who will still be with Lula after this election?